Are you ready for some delicious, low quality Starfield cope? Because there has been a critical update. Not a big update, not a huge update, not even a massive update, but a critical update. Do you think it's finally going to be time to introduce the FOV slider?
So yes, Bethesda promised to roll out the updates for Starfield, and that's exactly what they're doing. We got a brand new patch today, a new update which just released.
They did. They actually introduced the FOV slider. Something that should have been in the game day one in the last five Bethesda games. And it took them only a month and a half to put it into Starfield. You're going to think I'm joking, but this is Bethesda. Absolutely just showing the most remarkable care that they have ever showed for any of their games. Because other games, they don't even update. They don't even update other games, dude. But Starfield's getting roughly one update every 2 months. That's insane, Bethesda quality insurance.
We're going to go over new gameplay post-patch, talk about it. Also, yes, some critical features have been added to the game, highly requested stuff. And yeah, we're going to talk about a brand new warning about possibly losing legendary items. You don't want to do this, or you could lose some critical gear. This is extremely
More bugs.
important. And then, is the Starfield hate out of control at this point? Sound off in the comments down below if you feel that way or not.
No, it's not. I'm pretty much the only one who is still enjoying his life to the utmost fullest, talking about how bad Starfield is. Because man, I have pretty much replaced the word bad with Starfield at this point in my life. It's amazing. Zero regrets, 10 out of 10. Maybe Starfield's a disaster, but it has been my favorite disaster of my lifetime. This is amazing.
I'm kind of curious. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this new patch, shall we? So yeah, here we go. It says this right here, Starfield Update 1.736, fixes and improvements. We have a FOV sliders are now available in settings that allow players to use first person or third person to adjust their FOV. That's really nice. Performance and stability for PC only. Improved stability for Intel Arc GPUs. That's always been a problem. Various additional stability and performance improvements as well. We'll talk about that more.
So you're telling me they essentially did a PowerPoint presentation with 4 points? Bro, 5 points is the minimum. And also, this addressed an issue where tunneling creatures could pick a location that would prevent progress. So, a game-breaking bug that prevents progress was fixed 2 months into its lifespan. Amazing. Amazing, Bethesda.
Or as we go. And then for Quest, Echoes of the Past address an issue where tunneling creatures could pick a location that would prevent progression, so that has also been addressed as well. But the question is this right here, some responses. Are they drip feeding small patches before some gigantic patch or something? I mean, it's not like...
Dude, this was the gigantic patch. What do you mean? This was the gigantic patch. I love the cope. Are they drip feeding small patches before a big one? Yeah, the big one is gonna have 6 points in their PowerPoint presentation. It's gonna be great, you know. Trust me, it's gonna be great. And half of it's not gonna be even bug fixes.
I don't appreciate patches, but the patch notes looks like something that I could expect from weekly hotfixes. And this is an interesting take. It says Bethesda learned from Fallout 76 that if they wait to release fixes to put them in larger patches, players will assume they are doing nothing. So I think that's on point. That's why
Yes, that is true, by the way. That is actually on point. And this just proves that Bethesda is doing nothing. Because, let me tell you a secret. When Todd Howard said that this game is going to be played for decades, when Todd Howard said that they're going to update this game, he lied. He just lied to you. He lied to your face. That's what Todd Howard does. It's literally his thing. He just lies a lot, constantly. I mean, this man has said more lies in his life than most people have said words in general.
Plus, also, I think they're going to be introducing smaller patches before perhaps a major patch, because it's more stable releasing smaller patches. There's less I guess you would say, influence on the actual infrastructure of the coding of the game, and it's a lot easier to maintain. Now, also, we have some ideas on what we would like to see next from the community. It says add shoulder swap in third person. Let me know how many of you actually play in third person. How big of a deal is this
No
if it
one.
doesn't make it into the game? And then I'm hoping they put in something where if you're buying ammo, it tells you how many you have in your inventory. It does by not in having to.
Yeah, I also hope that they finally decide to fix the UI, because the UI made by the 5-year-old wasn't really great. I would love to see my character's weight when I'm looting a dead pirate's corpse, instead of seeing the dead pirate's corpse's weight for some stupid reason. You know? Just small thing. Then they will never probably fix it. They will never sadly probably fix it. Well, not that I'm gonna ever play this game again, honestly, but they're never gonna fix that.
Keep going to sell to see what I've got. It's always been a pain. This is one of the things on my top list of things that need to be added into the game. But let's get into some post-patch gameplay showcasing the changes. As you can see right here, yes, your options for first-person and third-person FOV slider is going to be under accessibility. Here's the default view if you're wondering. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, but we can do even better. So let's go ahead and tune that up to 100. Now you can go all the way up to 110, by the way, for the first-person FOV. But yeah, it's looking pretty nice. Now, I imagine that there are some performance hits that you can take.
Yeah, no, it looks better, honestly.
So just be warned about that as you continue to adjust the FOV slider options. But yeah, we can ultimately tune this up to 110. That's looking really good. Now, for third person, here's the default view. Go ahead and tune that up as well. Accessibility. And let's crank it up to about 100 right here and take a look at what that does. Yeah, kind of like adjust it to where it gives you that wider perspective from.
Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna play in third person? If playing Starfield is painful enough, but playing it in third person? I mean, is someone trying to punish you or something?
Per person, but it does look nice. And yes, as you can see, this is the ultimate perspective that you can get from third person. So yeah, but when it comes to performance, I did some test runs in Aquila City. This is where I've had the most problems with Starfield. And currently, the game is running very similar even after post-patch. It's not to say the game is running absolutely terrible. For me personally, I've been able to adjust my settings to get the game running very, very good, at least on my end. But if you're expecting some absolutely amazing performance boost with this update, I wouldn't hold your breath whatsoever when it comes to this update. Now, if you're on Arc GPU, you might see a significant performance boost. Of course, cannot confirm. Curious to see if anyone uses Arc GPUs or not. Post a comment down below. I'm actually kind of curious. But yeah, at least they're trying to head in the right direction with performance, but they need a more significant performance patch in the future for it to really, really matter. Yeah, a lot of people are wondering, is the Starfield hate getting out of control? And ultimately, is the Starfield hate becoming corny in a way? This one comes from Old Property 3009, who says this. Yes, I know it didn't live up to everyone's expectations, but honestly, the game is really not as...
The game didn't live up to anyone's expectations. I have still not seen a single person review Starfield in a positive way, where their positivity is something akin of, look at this game design feature, it's great. No. Everyone trying to be positive about Starfield is saying the same thing. The game's not actually that bad, okay? People are saying the guns are super shit. No, they're not. They're just shit. It's not that bad. It's the same thing. Even positive videos about Starfield end up being, well, the game's pretty bad, yeah, but it's not that bad. It's just impossible.
As bad as all the videos on YouTube make it seem. It's almost like anyone who enjoys the game is called a fanboy, which is dumb because some people just genuinely...
Well, I would call people who enjoy Starfield, yes, fanboys, but too low IQ. I bet there's not a single person who is unironically enjoying Starfield and has an IQ above 90. I'm not gonna lie, and obviously online tests of IQ don't fucking count. But yeah, still. I would be amazed if there's a single person with IQ above 90 who thinks that Starfield is a great game. Because it's boring, it's bad, it's lame, and it's for idiots.
Like it for what it is. All the good criticisms of the game is being overshadowed by typical comments like, it's a Bethesda game, of course it sucks. This game isn't perfect, but it seems like the haters think about the game more than those who enjoy it. Ironically, okay, rant over. There's a lot of you guys.
I mean, I definitely think about the game more than I play it because it's funny to think about this because there's tons of people like this. Dude, ask any person who would write something like this, and they can't say anything positive about Starfield. The best they can do is lie and say, "Oh, the story's good," and then you point out that the story is shit, and they're like, "Yeah, that's true," and then there you go, conversation over.
Have a really amazing comments. Whether you like or dislike the game, I think voicing your opinion regardless is super admirable. Hopefully Bethesda can take some notes from a lot of you. That's one thing that I have noticed is that there's people that just hate on the game, and then there's people that are critiquing the game, giving critical feedback to make the game better in the future. And that's what I look for. That's kind of what I see in the comments of my own video from you guys is, yeah, the game isn't perfect in your eyes, but what is here is something that seems like to me you guys are really, really enjoying so far. And yeah, it seems like there has been a lot of hate, at least from what I am seeing for Starfield, which it's good to note that there is a community here that really, really enjoys it and is going strong. Now, we do have some critical feedback, mentioning that earlier. Check it out right here. It says, I love this game, but having to register a stolen starship at your pirate base in order to sell it is the most insane gameplay mechanic ever devised. This one comes from Never Lick Toads, who says, setting aside for a moment the incomprehensible fact that apparently my starship costs less than you, Honda Civic, I'm in disbelief that in order to sell a stolen starship to pirates, a pirate gang I'm honored member of, I have to register it with pirates at a cost that covers about 80% of the value of the ship. Selling a starship, which I risk my life to capture in a daring space battle and engage in hand-to-hand combat with the honorable but doomed crew, is less profitable than looting 2 or 3 guns or fancy helmets. This is definitely something I think Bethesda needs to look into and do a big...
I'm sure Bethesda is going to look at... Dude, why would the Bethesda fix anything in this game? Mods exist. They're going to fix it. And you know what? Bethesda's then going to upgrade a sand particle or something like that, brick all the mods, and guess what? The modders are going to fix their mods, and then it's all going to be okay again. Dude, Bethesda has a chokehold on these absolute fanboys. It's insanity. Again, there is a reason why I constantly talk about the Bethesda fanboys and how insane they are. Because they are. Problems like this are for modders to fix, not for the greats at Bethesda to actually waste their time thinking about. Now, some modders are going to fix it if you want it.
Big overhaul to the whole sense of being kind of like a pirate, a criminal. It needs to be embraced more with the actual...
Oh, and if you don't want to download mods because it's stupid, complicated, and tedious, well, sucks to be you, I guess. You don't get a solution in that case.
Game mechanics and reward system. It's just right now not adding up. Now, it says this right here. I understand the registration mechanic at spaceports for law-abiding citizenry, but having to register a stolen vehicle at the Crimson Fleet pirate lair is possibly the most bizarre mechanic.
Yeah, they're also going to take your stolen stuff away from you. If they catch you.
I've ever encountered. Apparently, the Crimson Fleet has quite the sophisticated bureaucracy. This is quite the scam Delgado has going on.
Well, to be fair, I said this before Starfield released, that the story, the atmosphere of Starfield is literally... it makes no sense. Because if you have a pirate fleet this large, and I'm not talking about that you encounter it on literally every planet, every outpost, every time you go into space. I'm talking about purely what is written in the lore about them. If you're so gigantic and you're led by one person, you no longer are pirates. You're a nation. And your pirating activities stop. And now the people who don't want to stop them, they get removed by you. And there's no more pirates. This is how real life would work. a group, a fleet this large as the pirates, Crimson Fleet, they would just become a real nation, a faction in the game that's not a bunch of pirates and outlaws, because it just makes no real world sense at all. And by the way, if there is no one leader, then the pirates are just gonna kill themselves, and problem again solved. A pirate fleet, a amount of pirates this large cannot exist as pirates no longer. It is impossible.
To fleece me is a valuable pirate by charging me exorbitant registration fees just to sell my own stolen starship. Crime doesn't pay after all. This feature is so silly, it is too hilarious to be angry about, but I do seriously hope Bethesda considers a...
There we go, the classic cope. Oh, this is just so stupid I can't even be mad. It's hilarious.
Future update to make pirating starships actually worth it. There should be one location in the game where you can sell stolen ships without being charged registration fees, and that location should be the key. If you can't sell stolen ships for a reasonable profit there, there's really no point to even joining the Crimson Fleet in this game. The normal piracy missions don't pay much, and they're hard to complete without getting a bounty that exceeds your profit. Having a mechanic where you can sell a stolen starship without registering would make it worthwhile. Hide it because of a ludicrous skill tree if you have to, but the mechanic should exist. I implore you, I just want to make a decent living as a pirate. No pirate taxation without pirate representation. I love it. Well said right there. Yeah, this really does need an update. And again, Bethesda, I really do hope that they are listening to this sort of feedback and get on some.
God, every time I see the gunplay, I just, I die a little bit inside how bad it is. Only the first shot is accurate. Only roughly the first shot is accurate, and everything else is just gonna spray in, a circle direction, and that's it. It's stupid.
Some sort of bigger update regarding this sort of system. I think it would be a huge game changer for them to look into this for sure. Now, we also need to talk about that big warning about the possibility of losing major weapons in this game and gear that
he was stuck.
You otherwise would love. Check it out right here. It says this. So Bethesda just effed me out of a couple thousand pieces of armor, weaponry, misc items. I kid you not, this happened to Positive Edge 9256.
That's
you can
cool.
see his house is completely empty of his items. And we do have some replies here as well, but it says it was all furnished with chests and crap. Can't imagine how they were able to F up this mechanic since it worked in Fallout 4 almost 10 years ago.
Well, if you look at Starfield from an objective standpoint, they just took 2 steps backward with everything they have learned from Fallout or any of their other games. Everything's worse. The gunplay, the melee is non-existent, the skill points, the talent points, the dialogue options, the story, the progression, the everything, the looting system, the loot itself. I should do... Man, is it even possible to fix Starfield at this point? I honestly wonder.
Yikes. So let's see how many people are dealing with this. So it says, yeah, this is a known issue. Basically, there's 2 or 3 maybe times that New Atlantis overworld gets reset. Once during the UC Vanguard questline and once after some story spoilers that occur there.
UC Vanguard questline, he means the terror morph attack. No, wait, that doesn't reset the thing. Because people who drop mines in that encounter are complaining after the encounter is done the mines are still active. And random civilians just walk on them and suddenly explode, and he just gets bounties because of that on him, which is hilarious.
When these resets happen because the spaceport gets a makeover, the entire map is reset to its default state once the spaceport goes back to normal. And since the New Atlantis penthouse apartment is on the overworld layer, it also gets reset. Basically, don't bother with the New Atlantis penthouse until after you've done all the missions, which reset the New Atlantis overworld, because you will lose all your crap that you put.
What great game design, eh? What absolutely 10 out of 10 game design we have here.
Up there, if you do. To my knowledge, All the other houses except the one in the well, which does the same thing during one of the story spoiler quests, since you pass through it, don't have this issue since a lot of them are in their own instance load zone. Yikes. This is a big deal and needs a fix ASAP. But there's a warning for you all about the penthouse in New Atlantis. Be careful with that one because you can lose a lot of very critical and important gear, especially stuff that you love. Even if it isn't like stuff that you're using, maybe it's for memory's sake and you want it up on the wall and you want to return and be like, the memories of an adventure.
Memories.
But yeah, you don't want to lose.
The memories that are gonna get reset after the game completes. Oh, the memories. Oh, please tell me more.
That. So hopefully that helps you out in the future. All right, so now it's time to go over your top comments from my previous video, which was this one.
Admittedly, this is still weaker than Blizzard having to load every other player's stash that you encounter because, well, for reasons, I guess. At least this is better than this.
Right here. So the inevitable just happened and major backlash over this. So let's go ahead and get into this one right now. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video, but this is what you guys had to say about this one. We have Chaos, who says, this may be weird to some, but I enjoy Starfield like no other game I've played. I work a lot, and I'm
that's really sad.
Also enthusiastic about space and exploration in general. Doesn't have to be in space. I like that the grind included in this game is ran at your own.
Doesn't have to be in space. Well, you're lucky because Starfield, the space exploration game, has almost zero space.
Pace. There are so many ways to get experience and money that it needs no glitches. After a week or even just a day at work, it feels incredibly therapeutic for me, at least, to just get lost in space and explore this game's interpretation of what these different planets would actually look like and feel like. I boost jump all over the place and I...
Dude, how can you like space and then see the Starfield planets and say, oh my god, this is stupid. This is not what planets would look like.
Still have yet to build one outpost. I barely follow the story because I'm exploring and enjoying that. I think, obviously, this game will affect everyone differently, but it's...
You know what? Usually I would laugh about this guy, but good for him. Good for him. Because if he works a lot and does things of that nature, and he just boots up Starfield for 1 hour, goes to a planet and goes to, you know, like 1 or 2 or 3 locations, it's not that bad, I guess. I guess it's not that bad. It's still kind of slightly pathetic, but, you know, it's not that bad, I guess.
It's definitely not a bad game. It's either for you, or not. But bad, not at all. Well said. 75 upvotes, one of the most upvoted comments here. And then we have, my number one thing with Starfield is that they need to give us manual control over where doors and ladders are placed in the ship builder. A preview option for the fabs, but also be immensely beneficial. 100% agree.
Yeah, no, that's going to be added by a mod or nothing.
I've heard this.
Also, is this just going to be comments? Yeah, it seems like it's comments. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sid saying, thanks for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.